Hello BookTube. Today I'm continuing with my reprise of the alphabet tags created by Jim of Jim's Books, Reading and Stuff. Today, the U tag. U is for unicorn. What is your favorite fantasy creature? I think this time I'm going to go with a dragon. U is for USA. If you are from the US, which state are you living in? What is special about that state? I live in the state of Texas. And I guess the thing that's special about Texas is that it has a lot of and a wide variety of landscapes. U is for USA and USSR. Do you have a favorite book about the Cold War? For this prompt, I'm going to go with Post-Wall, Post-Square by Christina Spohr. It is a history of the waning days of the Cold War, in which the Eastern European Soviet satellite states, East Germany, Hungary, Poland, Czechoslovakia, overthrew their communist regimes and became market capitalists. And also with Czechoslovakia breaking up and Germany being reunited. It also focuses on the dissolution of the Soviet Union and also the Tiananmen Square massacre in Beijing. So far, it is my favorite history of a part of the Cold War, although I have not reread it since I first read it. And after this past week, the prospect of rereading it fills me with a bit of trepidation, because there was another book one of the works I selected for my Remember December TBR. I did not like the attempt to reread it, so I'll talk a bit more about that tomorrow with weekly reads. U is for Uruguay, Uganda, United Arab Emirates, Ukraine, Uzbekistan, and Upper Volta, which is now Burkina Faso. Have you read any books connected with any of these countries? I'm not entirely sure if I've ever read anything about or set in or by an Uruguayan. I haven't read anything. No. Yes, I have read a book about Uganda. I read a year or two ago a biography of Idi Amin. United Arab Emirates, no. Ukraine, I think probably tangentially. Uzbekistan, again, probably tangentially. And Burkina Faso, no, not that I can recall. U is for underwater. What is your favorite book set underwater? It's not a favorite book, but it's the only one that comes to mind. And that is The Brilliant Abyss by Helen Scales. It's a history or a study, exploration of the deep oceans. U is for umbrella. What is excuse me. What is a good book for a rainy day? I guess it depends upon what you're looking for on a rainy day. Are you looking for something comforting? Are you looking for something to draw you in? It all depends. Normally, I manage with whatever it is I'm reading or attempting to read. U is for urban fantasy. Have you read any urban fantasy? Yes. For a number of years, urban fantasy was all the rage in science fiction and fantasy. It probably still is under the guise of romantasy or romantic fantasy or whatever the hell that new genre is, or repurposed genre is. Do I have a favorite? I guess I could go with City of Lost Fortunes by Brian Camp. It's a urban contemporary fantasy set in post-Katrina New Orleans about a young demigod named Jude Dubuisson who has the ability to find lost items and people, who ends up getting dragged into a strange card game that will determine the fate of New Orleans. But I'm not entirely sure if it's a favorite. U is for Ulysses. What does Ulysses mean for you in your reading life? Not much of nothing. If we're talking about Ulysses by James Joyce, I've tried it once, don't think I've made it past the chapter, and I have no intention to ever give it a Bell redemption. U is for unread. Roughly what percentage of the books on your shelves remain unread? So, I've read pretty much all of the manga I've collected. And those that I haven't gotten to yet, I will be getting to in the new year. For the librarian here, I would say the percentage is probably between 40 to 60%, with classics, modern and contemporary fiction, poetry, and drama being what I've read or at least looked at the most. Science fiction and fantasy, I think, is up in the air, and history is probably the largest percentage of unread. I've added a lot of history to my collection over the last few years, but I haven't really gotten around to reading it, or attempting to read it. Which of the following authors most appeals to you? Leon Uris, Umberto Eco, or Ursula K. Le Guin? I don't think I've ever tried anything by Leon Uris. Umberto Eco, I tried The Name of the Rose and it didn't do anything for me. So I'll have to go with Ursula K. Le Guin, even though I'm honestly not all that fond of her work. I've read a few of her short stories. I've read 2 novels, The Dispossessed and The Word for World is Forest, and they weren't spectacular. And I think I might have tried The Left Hand of Darkness, and I know for sure I tried The Wizard of Earthsea, and that one was just no. So if I was forced to choose, it'd be Ursula K. Le Guin, but that's a 10-foot pole choice. U is for UFO. Have you ever seen a UFO? No. Have you enjoyed a book exploring the first contact with aliens? Not really. And finally, U is for upcoming. What book releases are you looking forward to? So since we are at the end of the year, I will focus on the last 3 books that I pre-ordered from Book People. So over the last few years, I have used Book People to pre-order forthcoming new releases in the various manga series that I follow. And I have 3 coming at the end of the year. So hopefully they will come before Christmas, but they may come either a few days after Christmas or what's left of the year. And those 3 volumes are Jujutsu Kaisen Volume 24 by Gege Ekutami, Dandadan Volume 10 by Yukinobu Tatsu, and Zom 100 Volume 16 by Hiroaso and Kotaro Takata. I'm really looking forward to all of them. So, yeah, that is the U tag. If you'd like to do this tag, consider yourselves tagged. Thank you, BookTube. Have a great afternoon and stay safe.